where you can get all of your internet marketing questions answered.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good morning for me here. Here's another marketing meetup today with my business partner, Matt Koshko, in the chat. Matt, want to say hi?
I waved and I forgot my camera's not working.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I logged in like right now on my camera, but I'll unlock you as soon as you want to share some screen or something like that, right? No
No
problem.
problem.
Yeah, Matt's a little bit technical issues there with his camera. I think it's decided to what do you call it? The end of warranty arrived.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it broke down. Anyway, next time I get a new one, I hope. Let me just quickly pause up my live stream so we don't get an echo here. Very good. So that's done. Okay, good morning. So today's topic, as I announced it, is we are finally ready. In the last marketing meetup on the 1st of July, I kind of announced and I said 4, 5, 6 days or something. Or was a bit longer than that, I have to admit, yes. It took a little bit longer to get the last little bit integrated into Jolo, but it's now there. We have now the site ready, and it's gonna launch fully in just about, well, actually right now it's less than 12 hours, right? Quite excited about that. How about you, Matt? It was a long way in the coming. You want to share with the people on here, how you got that idea and what took you so long?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, Jalo was a very at the time uh, came to me. I don't know, what 2.5 years ago now, and it was really just to solve a simple problem that I was tired of trying to work with different website owners who we would, we all use that term promotion or promo, and we would run these cooperative promotions, and it was just frustrating. It took a lot of time to manage and moderate, configure, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, there has to be a better way. This is just sucking away a lot of my time. Now, I would also argue that it wasn't a waste of time. It just took a lot of time to constantly be trying to find website owners who, were in cooperative markets or had cooperative products, and I wanted to make it more convenient and more efficient.
Hmm.
So I started kind of writing down ideas. Talked to Darren Olander, who's not with us right now, about what I was thinking, and then I approached an individual to help program and build it. And that was quite a few maybe 2 years ago now. We started off, and it just wasn't really a good fit, good timing, and that's just business. So I kind of took it back and went back to the drawing board and spent, I don't know, several months probably kind of refining what we would do. And then I approached Frank, maybe a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and Frank was like, well, I was, first off, before I say what Frank told me, I said, okay, I don't know if Frank's even going to listen to me. I've really never had a conversation with him, but why the hell not? So I eventually approached Frank, and he said, I'm okay. I need more details, et cetera, et cetera. So we kind of signed off some mutual NDAs essentially, just to protect each other, and uh, we started hashing out the idea, and we spent a long time going through all the details, planning, sketching, road mapping, all the fun stuff that really goes into creating a product from an idea, and all the steps in between. Now, granted, we are not some big company that has lots of employees or tons of resources that we can hire 15 different developers and make it all happen really fast. And of course, you all know Frank has 35 million other websites. So, it takes time. But over, I would say, the past 6 to 8 months, especially the past 6 months, Frank's been doing a lot of the grunt work of really bringing the idea into an actual tangible being, or a product, or I should say really a service. And now we have Jala in its existence. Is it perfect? No, nothing's ever perfect. But we're really thrilled about the stage that we've reached at this point. There's things we want to tweak here and there, and that'll happen. But it's a really thorough platform. And just to give, actually, Frank, do you want me to give a little bit more details on what it is?
Yeah, definitely. And also, one thing I was wondering while you were explaining there is, if you don't mind, would you like to explain, what exactly you guys were doing, trying to do that before manually, and kind of how you did that before?
Sure.
I remember you said it was a big pain, but I would just be interested in what it exactly was, because hey, even if somebody is not using our platform, somebody might be interested just to do the manual way, right? I mean, let's tell them, how that works if you do it the manual way.
Sure. Yeah.
A real example, so to speak, right? What you guys did back then.
Exactly. Yeah, the manual process that I as well as Darren were going through was finding a website owner or someone we already knew even, but it might have been someone that we had never interfaced with, a relationship that was brand new, and do a little web search, or maybe we hear from someone we knew or see a website advertised. There's lots of examples of how we would come across a cooperative relationship and build out some kind of promotion or some kind of campaign, I should really call it. And what we do is contact the individual if we could figure out who it was. Sometimes you have to send an email to their support department to get into the right person's hands, who may be more on the marketing side or the actual person who owns the website, the product, the service, you name it. Have that conversation. Hey, we want to offer an opportunity to run a cooperative campaign or a promotion for one another. Here's what we were thinking, and what we would do is we'd say, we're willing to give, I don't know, let's just give an example of 1,000 credits to ListJumper for any one of your customers who signs up with us for the first time. And in return, that website owner would say, okay, I'll give a free download to my, I don't know, best-selling ebook for anyone who registers for my seminar. That might be in exchange. So what we do is then, for our members, for our email list, for our subscribers, maybe post it on our Facebook pages, Twitter, you name it. Even sometimes send out a paid advertisement, maybe a Facebook ad. We would then advertise our offer for the other person's product or service. For example, if it's Frank and I approach Frank for viral URL, I'd say, hey, I would share with all my customers, my subscribers, my friends, family, everyone essentially. This is what Frank has offered to you guys. If you'd like, suggest grabbing it. It's a freebie essentially, or it's a discount. Sometimes some website owners or product owners or service owners want to just offer a free trial or a discounted offer for whatever it might be, and we'd run that exchange so that we would help one another really build our market and our customer base. And
if I can interrupt you for a second there. So basically,
sure.
It's a little bit more than just like a JV or like an affiliate promoting another program just with the same offer like everybody else does, but you guys actually did it in a way that you had something special, something unique that only the partner could offer, and not just not the whole world, right? Is that
Right.
Did I understand that part right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not even that. If I use you as an example, it's not even that you would say, okay, yes, I'm never going to offer anyone else's exact same deal to Matt, but if it's something that my subscribers or customers never heard about, and I can share what you're offering to them, then it helps boost your morale, your essentially your business.
It makes you stand out better, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and right, and it's something kind of unique, or it might be that you don't offer it often, but here's an opportunity. And then if you sign up in the next 7 days, you can download this free ebook from Frank that he doesn't offer on a regular occasion. It's kind of infrequent. So people would so then what we do is send out our ads, let our email list know, whatever the case may be, and Frank would do the same for us for whatever offer we gave to his audience. Now, there are ways to do this. You could do it. You can get in contact with people through email, sending in a support ticket, maybe. Sometimes picking up the phone. That was very rare. I think I did it twice. Let's see, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Now as Google Plus has been growing so much. Sometimes you could sign up to someone's website just to become a customer and see what they're doing, and then say, yes, I really like what they're doing or this product, which obviously you don't really want to just share with your audience everything that comes your way that's a freebie or that gets you a commission. You really want to know, like, and trust the product and service you're recommending to people. Yes, we all want sales commissions. We all want more money. I get that. However, to be promoting something, even if it's a cooperative environment like I've been talking about, without knowing and really agreeing that, yes, I want to put my name behind this product or service, it's not really a good idea. So I would always say spend the time to get to know what you're going to share and recommend to someone before you even do it. Now, Darren's really good at that. He does look into the services that he recommends and products he recommends before he tells anyone. It helps everyone in the long run. Now here's a good thing about going through that manual process. You do build relationships with people. Now, you might not always get someone to say, yes, that offer sounds great. You might have to offer more to someone who has a larger audience for them to know, like, and trust you before they're willing to do the same for you. And that can seem a little daunting and a little tiring, but it can help build your entire clout, I guess we will say. There are some
question quickly.
Yep.
With the fulfillment back then, did you to be able to give that, give your the people that you partnered up with the ability to give that special offer for your own site? Did you have to do something manually on your hand, or was it an automated process? Where they had a special link maybe, or did you have to just manually give their customers their extra reward that you promised them, so to speak?
Sure. Yeah. You for the sites that I have run, let's see. Yeah. Actually, all of them have always had a way of. Actually, I take it back. Never mind. No, they've never always had an automated method of giving someone a freebie or an upgrade or a discount. In the past, I had a smaller website than I do now, and that didn't have as much automation built in. It was more manual work. So what people would do is they send us an email to say, yes, hey, I just joined, like the free upgrade or the free, banner ads or whatever the case may be, and we'd have to add them to their account manually. Now, that's not really ideal. However, it works. we get upon every cooperative campaign we'd run, we'd always get quite a few people who would send us requests. So that automation obviously is much easier with technology these days, and it's not always going to be the case where you can just say, yes, sign up and you'll get it automatically. However, if you're creative, you can make it a pretty simple process. And heck, you know what? Even if you have to spend a few hours getting back to people and giving them those freebies or those discounts, etc., you should be saying thank you because they came to you, they performed whatever action, maybe it was signing up to your service, and they are telling you, hey, I'm interested, I like your offer, and just for you to spend the time to say, hey, thank you, here's the offer, I assigned it to your account, or here's a product, whatever, that it's worth the time because you'll build those relationships with your customers, with your audience. And yes, it may seem like, oh God, I have to go spend 3 hours doing this, but it can be worth it. Now, in Frank's case, he has 500 websites. It would take him forever. But you could offer, pay someone like a virtual assistant, for example, to help you, or outsource. Hire your brother or your sister or your mother to help you take care of some of that really basic, simple work, and you can give them the instructions. So let me kind of wrap up here, and then Frank, you can take over. going through that process of finding people to run promotions with, to run campaigns, to cooperatively market each other and advertise, it was very worthwhile. However, time is limited. we all only have 24 hours in a day. You can't get it back, and I value my time pretty highly. Going through that process and contacting all those people that I had built relationships with over years, it was absolutely worth it. However, today it's a much different game. People don't pay attention to websites the way they used to because there's a lot of noise, there are a lot of distractions, and I firmly believe that you have to get your name out there and build closer relationships with people than you ever did before, because there is so much noise and so much opportunity for someone to say, you know what, I don't like Matt or I don't like Frank. I'm going to go to John who built a rip-off product, or Sam who built something that looks just like what we did. You know, it does the exact same thing, but theirs is cheaper. I'm going to go over there. I don't know why I always use John. Maybe it was John Smith. I always use John Smith as my like alias name to to I don't know who John Smith is, but you know. Anyway, the point is, you have to work a lot harder, it seems, to grow a product or a service that 4 or 5 years ago might not have been so hard because there wasn't as much really competition or noise. And I think making some of this automation that didn't exist is beneficial to many people on both sides of the aisle. And essentially, that's what Jalo does. It helps. It's not helps. It completely limits the requirement of spending all that time creating those manual campaigns, those cooperative marketing opportunities. Jalo eliminates and reduces those time requirements that existed several years ago. Now, does it solve every problem? No, not at all. However, it helps eliminate a ton of time that I had to spend, well, and Darren, when we were working together, and we still do, of course, but when we're working together to really build up a few of our websites, and it's gold in my opinion. Like I said, time is the most valued commodity in my opinion. It's
yep, time is.
Whoa.
Time is dollars.
You know, you can't, like I said, you can't get time back, and whatever you can do to reduce the time you need to spend on something and make yourself more efficient, the better. And that's what we built Jalo to do. Now, Jalo is it's not a script, it's not a membership script, it's not an email marketing platform, it's not a click one button and it does everything for you. There is a little work, but it really does take away a lot of the pain that you as a website owner may have. Now, go ahead, Frank.
To put that thought on that you just started, obviously it is not a script for you to install. For us, it was a script to develop, right? You know, a software program. But you know, like Matt was already starting to get to at this point here with the benefit there is just simply that after an initial setup for you, like as a user, it can actually become almost like the proverbial button to press, because once you're set up, once you have your sites in the Jalo system, it can actually generate additional activity on your end, additional signups or sales on your end, without you actually doing much more after that. Once it's set up one time. Yes, will it take like 15-20 minutes to set up? Maybe longer, maybe shorter, depending on how complex you want to go, right? I mean, it's like Matt used to use the term like what is it here? It's up to their own creativity, right? How far they want to push it. Yeah, this really... Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I sorry. Yeah, the way I kind of talked about what Jala really does, or not what it does, but how it positions a website owner. And again, by the way, when I say website owner, I don't mean someone who just owns a blog. It can be a whole array of different markets and niches. It could be, a list builder, like I, have List Jumper, and that's one of many, many, many possibilities. It can be a corporate website. It could be a blog. It could be an affiliate site. It could be a landing page, a lead platform. It could be an affiliate page. Now there are a couple requirements that you have to be aware of. Jala wouldn't work in every single case for every single website owner, but if you own the website, if it's your code, it can work. But anyway, the point is, it's really designed not for a specific market and niche, I should call it, not for the list builders. It's not just for a specific market. That's the power of it. We really are trying to open it to allow lots of different markets and niches and industries, and if you will, to play with one another, to be cooperative, to meet one another, to network. Essentially, Jala is not a social network. However, it allows you to connect with others who you may have never even heard of. And as Frank alluded to, what it allows you to be is the creative artist. Here's my analogy: is when someone gives you a paintbrush and paint and a canvas, and they say, "Go ahead." Right? They're giving you the tools to create the artwork. What you create out of it is up to you. Here's another example.
Exactly.
If you go out and buy a BMX bike, a stunt bike, or someone gives it to you even, and you go into a BMX track or a half pipe, it's up to you to be the creative artist behind the tricks you perform. Just like Jala, or I should say Jala is similar in this case, where we said we built the platform for you, the tool, and we've built in the functionality and the flexibility for you to decide how you want to use Jala for your website to build traffic, to build an audience, to engage more of your customers, members, you name it. That's what we designed it for. And here's another analogy. We've added and given you some pink colors. We haven't given you a lot of colors yet, but we will be adding more colors. Those colors, in this case, refer to tasks, and or I should say, there's task types essentially. So it's like an activity that you perform. It would be, in a way, it would be like us saying, "Here's your BMX bike, and here are the only types of tricks you can do." But the way you use those tricks in your performance is up to you. It's kind of similar, and don't get too lost in all that, all the details there. But the point is, the tool is here for you to be the creative artist, and that's what we want to empower you to be. Go out and be creative. And we've designed it in a way to be pretty flexible, and we'll add to it, in time and over time, I should say, so that there was even more flexibility than it currently exists. Now we have Jala already integrated with I don't know, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I think it's like 9 domains. Lots of different websites, a blog to I think a manual traffic exchange to a list builder to just like a corporate website to a I don't know, some of the ones Frank has. I don't even know all the websites Frank has, but the point is there's a lot of variety. And it's intended to be that way. The cool thing is you can decide which websites you allow into Jala. You can decide who you work with in Jala. You can decide so many things. I could speak about it for hours.
Long story short.
Yeah, long story short, we are in about 12 hours. We will start letting people in, and it's pretty exciting.
Okay, let me take over here, Matt. I think
Yes.
I have a couple of things I wanted to address and that you said there, and that I think I want to just make people aware of it. That it's the potential and the reason why Matt and I and the absent Darren. By the way, Darren is excused. He was on a vacation. He's coming sometime today, I think, or back sometime today. Probably not quite ready yet to go on a hangout. But so the reason why we are so excited about it is because of the potential that we can see. If you remember back what Matt shared with you guys, how he did this whole thing, what he called a cooperative. What was it again? What's your term that you use?
Cooperative marketing.
Marketing, right? Well, personally, if you can't remember that word either, like me, then just call it a cross promotion, right? You do cross promotion with different site owners, and they promote you, you promote them. That's a cross promotion. That's for me. That's how I call it. It's a less fancy but more easy to remember for me term that I use. But if you don't want to do that whole thing manual the way he described, which you can do at any time, right? Then that's what Jolo was created for, basically, to take a lot of that manual work out of the equation. There's still some of it left there, like for example, if you can't deliver a reward completely automated, then there will be some aspect where you probably have to manually deliver something there, but that's really up to what you're providing as a reward. And we give you actually the tools with Jolo in the hand that you can even automate that part. If you don't want to give something manually, there's things that you can give away through Jolo that are that allow you to make that part automated, even if your website can't provide an automated reward or automated bonus to your members or to your visitors, right? So we give you the tools there at hand. Now, but what makes me personally even more excited about the Jolo launch, and finally having it here after, oh man, I don't know, weeks and weeks. You can see how long it took me programming here. I had no time to shave at all. I mean, terrible. Tons of time went into that. Anyway, but now it's there. And what excites me a lot about it is taking away that barrier that we had, Matt actually described when he talked about it before, about the difference about getting somebody into your cross promotion. Let me call it cross promotion now. That you do with, for example, a bigger site owner or a bigger list owner, right? He said, like, well, you might have to offer them something better to get their attention. Now with Jolo, that barrier goes completely away, because there is no more barrier in a way that a big site owner has to worry about these things. The reason why a big site owner might have a hard time partnering up with a small site owner is simply the unfair relation of how much you can help each other. The big site owner could help a small site owner so much more, right, than the small site owner could help the big site owner. And that sometimes what limits, the ability that you have to connect to one of those big guys. Now with Jolo, you don't have that problem anymore, because Jolo levels the playing field. It takes away the fear of let's say, to start with a small person, the fear of the small person of approaching this big guy. You don't have to call him on the phone anymore and pitch your offer to him or talk him through and try to convince him or make him a good enough deal that he would say yes, or email him or Skype him or however you contact that person, right? And it makes the level of the field really planned for everybody, because the big site owner will just now give you as much back, or give the small site owner as much back as he received from him first. So it's an equal exchange there, and that alone. I mean, for anybody who has not yet one of the top 100 sites, in your particular niche, for you guys, it will make this thing so much easier. On the other hand, for the guys like I almost said the Bigfoot of the industry. No, I mean not the Bigfoot, of course. I didn't mean that. The guru types in your industry, the top 10 of your niche. For them, they don't have to fear anymore that they're going to be bombarded by all the small little people that want to do an exchange with them that can't give them at all what they could provide for them. No, again, Jolo's in between there to level the playing field, and for them, it just simply reduces the risk of giving and not receiving anything back in return, or not even close to what they gave back in return. No, we'll make sure that they get back the same amount. Might not be like second per second, but over time, if a big site owner gives out, like for example, let's say, just to speak in some numbers in terms like 1,000 clicks to some other site, right? Or 1,000 unique visitors going somewhere else, then they will get back those 1,000 over time. Might not happen, like I said, in a split second, but over the hours and days to come. And that way, it's even for them an advantage then to partner up with as many small site owners out there as they can. And with the Jolo system, they don't even have to do all this manual labor that Matt described before, where they have to contact this person and contact that person and do this kind of promotions together. It's going to happen automatically through that platform. They're going to be approached by the small site owners or by other big site owners, etc., and that want to do like a cross promotion, like a joint challenge, as we call it there, basically in Jolo, where multiple sites are involved in, and that way, everybody wins. And that's one of the things that excites me, even though I have a relatively, I don't want to say a large site, but like with roughly 75,000 members, we have a relatively big site, right? But I'm still even excited maybe to get together with some other site owners that have even more subscribers than we do. Hey, and even if I get only like, do joint challenges with a handful or a dozen or 100 or whatever, really small site owners, hey, that's still gonna be great for me, and that's still gonna be helping my own site. And that same way that would help me with my site, it would help anybody who integrates their site and uses Jolo with their site, And that's one of the things that just keeps me like excited and full of energy. Matt, take the word before I bubble away forever.
Yeah, no, I there's not much more for me to say, on that. That was exactly right. We've been working on it for so long that it's exciting to finally be at this point, and I know we're all the three of us are just excited to start letting people use it. We did have a couple people who gave it a quick test, not quick test, but gave it a test and some feedback. It was good to get that early feedback, and we made adjustments and some changes and fixes, and we're in a really good stage now, and I'm excited.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off at your excitement.
No, it's we're I don't know what else to say.
No problem. The thing is, I think that's probably for Matt kind of hard to express right now. It took so long to get to this point. He originally, like Matt described in the beginning, he was like sitting there for months and months and trying to figure out what to do about it. He didn't want to do it manually anyway, the way he used to do it before. And because of all the work, right? Matt, you're probably busy too. You can't just spend all day long on approaching people to do like one of your cooperative marketing efforts there. And so for him, it's probably also like something like that. I'm sure Matt would have preferred to have this a year ago or 2 years ago, right, Matt?
Oh, definitely. Oh God, yeah.
So what took long finally is there, and then obviously like Matt said also, we still is this now 100% finished? Is this it? Can I just throw down my glove and say, hey, that's it, I'm done? No, not quite. I wish. Obviously, we must constantly listen to what you guys give us as feedback. For example, like Matt said there, the kind of the task types, what's in the system. That's actually an easy thing. Basically, all we need to know is like, hey, somebody has a new idea how to use Jolo, and say, hey, couldn't I use it also this way? And then Matt and I and Darren go together and stick our heads together and say, what do you think? How can we do this? Oh, that's easy. Let's do this, and we just put it in there. Most of the task types that you could think of probably will be like a matter of like 2 minutes of coding, and then it's done on our end. And then you can do that particular thing as well. Some might be more complicated, right? But most of them will be pretty easy to add, and it's just sometimes a matter of coming up with the idea. And then obviously, Matt from the background that he has, me from my background, Darren from his background, we can come up with so many ways to do it, but there's probably 100 times more ways to think of a challenge that you could come up with that the three of us haven't thought of yet so far. And then so that's where you guys come in, the guys that use Jolo, and say, wait a second, how about this? That's what I'm also excited for, to see the creative ways that our members will use the site, and maybe ways that we didn't even imagined before. That would be quite exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One other thing that I wanted to talk about quickly is a little bit of a side thing of this. I remember, you said when you originally contacted me, and I think I want to give people some ideas out there that are wondering about, how did this whole thing happen? I mean, how did it work out that suddenly now, Frank and Darren and Matt, or Matt and Darren and Frank, or whatever you want to put in what order, how did it work from being total strangers to doing a project together? I think that's an interesting thing for people to learn. I mean, if they want to do, because it's one of the things that I recommend anybody doing, running their own business out there, to do as well, to partner up with others, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember still how that happened? I think I have an idea, and I remember that. I remember you said before we didn't really talk before,
Right.
which is not on a Skype chat for sure, at least, but we did actually email or Skype text chat probably before, because Matt, Darren, and I, together with Colin, actually we did some joint ventures before. We did this cross promotions in manual way, remember? Where
Yes.
basically you promote our sites, we promote your sites, and I think that's how we started building up some kind of a trust factor to each other. And I think that's one of the important aspects that you need to have in order to team up with anybody. You need to build up some form of trust with that person. An NDA, or what do you call it? It's an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, right? That's the one. Can help someone when if you have a problem with sharing something that you're afraid of that the other person might take and run off with. But trust is the part I think that needs to be there still on top of that. I mean, if there's enough trust, you probably don't even need an NDA, right?
Right.
But how did that work for us? I think the answer was for us that we just started working in a small aspect together first, and then gradually increased it. What do you think?
Yeah, I would. It basically was, I had approached you with the idea, and I basically said, I know this sounds crazy, but I have an idea. Essentially, that's what I kind of how I started it, and I believe I gave you a very, very general idea about the concept, and I then asked you, I was like, if you're interested, in working together, I know we haven't done it before, but we can talk about all the details and how it would all kind of work, in terms of the business side of things. But it was me approaching you, just with a very general idea, because I am kind of protective on some of the ideas I come up with. Yeah, I know people say ideas are pretty worthless. It's really all about execution, and I do agree to a point. However, when you have an idea, people tend to use your ideas, and even if you haven't finished creating it yourself, they can start using a variation of your idea, and it happens. I mean, I'm not going to chase people around. It's just not a good use of my time. However, I can be kind of protective about what we're about the idea before I really disclose all the details. So what I did was I approached you generally, gave you a quick synopsis of what I was talking or thinking of, and then I said, if you're, as long as you're willing to sign an NDA, just to protect the idea, essentially. You signed it, and I had already written out a lot of the details. It wasn't every painstaking point that we have now, and really right now we don't even have every single item. However, we have, I would say, 95%. But then I went through and started being more detailed. You and I started discussing more and more back and forth. Then eventually we got into live Skype conversations, like being on the phone. Yes, people, we actually had a live conversation. It wasn't just texting. It wasn't typing words back and forth all the time. And literally, Frank and I would actually spend hours like sometimes 4 hours in a
Oh, yeah.
row straight talking about Jalo. It became that intense at some point, and
Marathon sessions.
yeah, yeah, marathon. It would be like 3 a.m. my time, and I would be like, Frank, I need to go to bed. I'm barely staying awake, and I don't even. I'm sure I dozed off on some of the conversations. Don't even realize. But the point is, yeah, it all started with a very just me approaching Frank. I didn't think Frank would even say yes. I was delighted he even gave me, a few minutes to listen. And then, going through the details and thinking, okay, is Frank even going to have time for this? How long is it going to take? And I think the downside to having a lot of projects is, and it's really no fault to anyone specifically. It's you tend to jump around a lot, and yeah, had we focused all of our energy on Jalo the entire time, would we be done a lot sooner? Oh, absolutely. However,
Yeah.
that's just not it's not possible when, you're the only programmer essentially for all your websites, and you have to, maintain things, you have to fix bugs on other websites, you have to make sure those continue to operate. And you have other partners too. So there's a balancing act that, that happens, and I think as you mentioned, the further we got down the road, the more and the further we got down the road with all the details before we even wrote that first HTML tag to open, to begin the coding, having all those details ahead of time absolutely helps because you
Yeah.
save yourself, yeah, from like you said, it saves from going back and having to undo certain things to redo an idea or a concept or a piece of code that you didn't actually mean, or you shouldn't have done it in a certain way. Instead, you should have done it a different
Very
way
true.
because you change your idea later, or what have you. Now, to be entirely transparent here, Frank will tell you, or I'll tell you. You know how many times we change our idea on, not our idea as in Java as a whole, but how certain things worked? Oh my gosh, I couldn't even
Details of
tell
it,
you.
yes. Details.
Yeah, we changed things more times than I could possibly even tell you publicly because I don't know. It was
Yeah.
multiple.
And even though we did a lot of documenting before, and we use Google Docs there to
Yep.
join work on that. By the way, for people that want to do that work with other people, we use Google Docs, the what do you call the Excel sheets that they have in there, the drawings tools, all these collaborative tools that Google provides free of charge, which is pretty
Uh-huh.
awesome. We use those to just jot everything down, and then we kind of like highlighted stuff and put comment in our own colors in there, so the other person knows, oh, Frank added that, Darren added this command, Matt added that command, and
Yep.
then we had our little coding in there, like I changed it to green if it was done, and or changed or bolded it when it was done. Certain things, just so we
Yeah.
know where we are at. Then we use tools like Asana.com to kind of like having a to-do list, what still needs to be done, and that worked all great. And but still, even with all that preparation that we did, like Matt said there, we had some pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, where we said after a while, like, wait a second, this is actually too far as what we need. This part we don't really need really in the system anymore. So we like, it was finished, program done, and then we just scrapped it and throw it off the table. This piece we don't really need. It just makes it too complicated or not work in a way. Remember the thing about tracking views with the widgets, and we said later, oh, wait a second, it gives room for abuse. We didn't want that, so we threw it off the table and said, like, let's just compare the clicks that they get and the actual challenge takes that they got instead, and little things, but without us sitting together and doing all this voice chat on Skype and drawing it up. And we actually did a combination. We're sitting, basically on Skype, like kind of like us now in the Google Hangout, sitting together, and then we're both looking at that Word document, this Google Docs document, and like writing around in it, and how should we do this, and then going back and forth, right? I mean, that's how it developed. But remember how I initially asked, how did we initially get together? I think before Matt decided to randomly approach this weird guy over here in Australia, me, with this, he already knew me a little bit from like doing, like I said, doing the joint ventures before with other older sites that we have.
True.
And so there was some trust that was built up that way. He knew that I would promote him. I knew that he would promote me. So I I would do something for him, he'd do something for me. So we knew already there was a little bit of a base trust established. If you go to somebody you haven't even done anything with in the past, then obviously getting over the barrier of trust, the trust barrier, right, to get this established, will be a little bit harder for you. So I recommend to be open in helping each other in any kind of way before. And even if it's not a joint venture that you do with somebody, hey, if you just go across to the other person and help them some way. For example, if I want to be friendly and helpful to somebody else, I might look at their website, see something that is maybe not working, something that's misspelled somewhere, something where I just haven't, I think, oh, this could be better somehow, and it could be improved somehow, and I just give them my feedback. Hey, just wanted to let you know, I saw this on your site, and just start a dialogue. Maybe I just email them in the beginning, or I try to usually. The best for me always, to be totally honest here, is if I can get to the point where I do a Skype text chat or voice chat or something with somebody, because then it's, especially if the voice is involved, then there's it's a lot easier to establish trust with the other person because more of your senses are involved. It's not just you read the text that the other person types, but you can have a deeper connection already at that point because the voice is involved. Or if you have the next level like a video chat, right? I mean, it's a lot easier to build up the connection. But if nothing else is possible, even if you go into the other person's help desk and say, listen, I just noticed this problem on your site, or I noticed the way that you could do this better, or I noticed, hey, you have this big image there that takes forever to load. Here, this is how you make it really small and tiny and still looks good. If you help them some way, shape, or form, that's how you start building, trying to build up the trust factor, the relationship, and then you can move over to the next step and the next step, and then eventually come up to the point where you do, like a joint partnership, a site together. Yeah. Any comment on that, Matt?
Yeah, I would agree. I remember asking Darren, hey, what do you think about me approaching Frank about developing, because he's a smart programmer, he's built some amazing websites, and he was like, yeah, that would be amazing if he would if he would be interested in help us, and I knew I could relate, or I could kind of connect Frank to the sites that Darren and I had built, and it wasn't like essentially like a cold call. It was, we had a semi-warm relationship already, so that absolutely helps, like you said. And let's give an example. One idea is, if you want to approach someone for an idea or programming or a partnership or whatever the case may be, what you could do is, if they have a product or a service that you've never heard of, or maybe you've heard of and you use, how about giving the person who owns it, or a programmer, or whoever is associated that you want to connect to, give them some feedback. Say, hey, for example, Matt, you could say, hey, Matt, I would love to work with you, but no, actually, that's a different. Let me back up here. Say, Matt, I've been a member of ListJumper for a while. I like what you've built. It's great. Or maybe say, hey, I have some suggestions on how you can make it better. Here's what I was thinking. Hopefully, you find it helpful. And if you send those to me, I'm more likely going to appreciate, not that necessarily that you said, oh, you love what I built. I mean, yeah, of course I like that too, but you don't have to butter me up just for me to like you. But give me some feedback. Tell me, hey, I have an idea to improve your business, or to improve a product you've designed, or a service. Yeah, you're giving away free advice, I guess, but you know what? That tells me that you care, and that you have value to offer. And then if you say, by the way, I have a product or a website I was thinking, and I would love for you to participate or help be a part of the, I don't know, partnership, or again, whatever your details may include, I'm more likely to be open to the idea, because you've already offered me some valuable tips or suggestions on ListJumper, for example. And for me to respond now is, at least in my case, is far more likely. And now, of course, I'm going to respond to you if you say, "Hey, I have some suggestions on List Jumper. If you're interested, here they are." I'm probably going to respond anyway because I'm going to say thank you. That's just the type of person I am. And there are other product and service owners who will do the exact same thing. They appreciate getting that feedback, and customer feedback or user feedback is really important in web technology. That it helps set you apart from people who just use the services and just move on. Now, I've done this with some service owners who make $50,000 a month from their services. I've given them plenty of free feedback. Just giving them my suggestions. It helps me if they take their suggestions and put them into place because that's what I want. But it also helps build my value and my loyalty. But them saying, "Wow, Matt he's been great giving us some of his ideas, and it's not like he's charging us anything for it or suggestions on how he thinks we can make it better." I've done that many times. I couldn't even tell you how many times. I'll give you some examples. Shopify, I've done that multiple times. In fact, Shopify has this is kind of a sidebar thing, but Shopify has an e-commerce platform. I think it's great, very very simple. It's not bloated. Then they came out with a POS platform, basically to tie in e-commerce with point of sale, like in a store, and they've tied them together. And what they did was they were charging like monthly fees for both, and it was just overkill. I said, "Listen, guys, what you're doing is you're nickel and diming your customers, in my opinion. You already have them on a monthly service for your website, and you're asking them to pay a monthly service for the POS platform. And on top of that, you're telling them they need to pay for transaction fees. It's a little much. But what you're doing is you built a solution that is basically all in one. Offer something a little bit more friendly, and there are more people like my customers or my clients are not going to want to pay monthly for this, monthly for that, and transaction fees for credit cards. It's just overkill." And they got rid of one of their monthly fees and kind of the way they put it together made a lot more sense than having like 4 different fees in 4 different places. It was just ridiculous. And I actually got a phone call from the person from one, I don't remember who it was, but it's from someone at Shopify to say, "Hey, we listened to your feedback, really appreciated it. We're actually rolling out a change," and they explained it to me, and this was like a couple months ago. But the point is, I'm not even a paying customer, and but I've also referred business to them, and I actually earn affiliate commissions from the few clients that I worked with, and I set them up on Shopify, etc. And the point is, I think they saw me that I was adding value and helping them create something really good for not just my clients, but their new clients, future clients, and to me that tells me that Shopify cares. But I think also Shopify realized that I care to have a good experience and that I want to share that experience and a better experience with everyone else. So the point of that is, if I was to go back to Shopify now and say, "Hey, here's another idea," they're probably going to listen to me more than they did in the past because I've already given them an idea that they really did implement, and now they see me as more value because I've already given them the value. So if I was to request something that, if I was just off the street and I requested, they're probably going to be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" If I do that now, I'm far more likely to be listened to. Now, one of my clients does over 6 figures a quarter with Shopify. I'm sorry, not 6 figures a quarter, 6 figures a year, and that's a lot of business for Shopify. I mean, at least in my opinion. I mean, I don't have a ton of clients that I worked with who I sent to Shopify that do that much. But the point is that it's not really about that I referred them a good sized client. It's that I helped add them value by giving them something that, you know, may turn away customers, but with all these different fees, instead they can see it as value. So the point is that if I was to go back to them now, they're probably going to listen to me. And in the same case that I was trying to give an example before, if you approach me or Frank or Darren or whoever with some ideas on how to improve their website, and it might be really simple things like you might say, hey, I noticed your logo in Chrome doesn't really fit. You might want to look at it. Take a screenshot and send it to me. I really appreciate that stuff. Frank does too. I mean, trust me. Yeah, we don't like to get a million emails all the time or support requests, but if we can make your experience better or the experience better for everyone, and you give us an idea, I'm even likely to give you a little discount or give you a freebie or something in return as a thank you. Of course, I'm going to say thank you, but the point is you build that value with me, I'm going to listen to you. I'm more likely to listen to you in the future than just someone off the street who says they have a great idea. I'm not going to know who they are or what value they even bring other than this idea. But if you're using my platform or you like my products and services, etc., it helps a lot. So the point of that is give people value first and show that you have something to offer rather than just saying, hey, I want you to build my website for me. And we'll partner on it. I mean, that doesn't really tell me anything, and I don't know who you are or what value you bring or why I should even do that or why your idea even has any merit to it. You know, you got to think ahead and think it's not about the short game, it's about the long game. And if Frank didn't know me from Adam, I don't think he would have even listened. But because we've partnered or we've cooperatively marketed each other over the past few years, he said, okay, Matt's serious. He's not just some random person off the street. You know, I can see that ListJumper in List Surfing and a few other websites that he's have had some traction and they've done at least relatively well. I can see that it would be worth it, and he's not just saying go and build my thing and then tell me when you're done. You know, it's that long-term value you want to build with people, and relationships do really make a big difference. I know that I think I've come to appreciate Frank's value quite a bit more than I realized. You know, he's a really smart guy, and hopefully he thinks I'm a smart guy too. But the point is that, you know, I didn't know everything about Frank. Frank didn't know everything about me, and we've shared some stuff about each other that definitely didn't know. And I think if I was ever to approach Frank again with a new idea, he'd listen to me a lot quicker than he would have, you know, 2 years ago. Now, of course, Jalo hasn't, you know, we haven't even released it to everyone yet, but once it becomes a big success, because I'm confident we will build it that way, it helps to build a sense of accomplishment. It tells each other that, hey, we built something really, really great. We've you know, got a lot of support and people like what we built. It was a great idea. Hell, hey, that, you know, remember that idea we had by building part of Jalo this way. Instead, we did it this way, and it turned out to be, you know, a really big success. People love it. Hey, I'm glad you brought it to my attention and you know, had me think differently. You know, there's a lot of that collaboration that helps build a relationship too. You know, like the hours that Frank and I have talked literally on Skype, and talked about, you know, 2 or 3 different but related parts of Jalo for hours. You know, you think is crazy, but that's how you build something to be really powerful and successful that you may have not done on your own with your own ideas, because, you know, the power of how do I say this? The power of 3 people's minds over the power of 1 person's mind is you know, far greater. And I love the collaborating with people, because you do kind of bring different perspectives, and what I might not think of, Frank may think of, and what I think of, Frank may not think of, which definitely happened many, many times. We wouldn't have what we have now in Jalo because we've and including Darren too. Darren's thrown in some ideas, and tested things. And hey, I don't, I know he's tested Jalo in parts where he's like, I don't think this makes sense. What about doing it this certain way, which we've done as well, and I think it's a much better end experience for the end user. Now, by the way, just to kind of before I throw it back to Frank, by the way, we didn't just build this for everyone else. We built Java for us too. That's how it all started. It started with really me coming and saying, "Oh my God, I need to find a better way of doing these cooperative campaigns and cooperative marketing." It was really to solve my own problem, and really to solve Darren and I's problem. And then I was like, "All right, well, if I'm solving my own problem, why not help solve other people's problems and make it really more of a collaboration tool and a social tool, I guess you could call it, and an interactive platform, and make everyone's lives easier." That's what we all want. We all want things that make us more efficient, and I firmly believe that Jala does that. And it not only efficiency, but it helps add value to your own websites, to your own offerings, and gets you in front of people that you would probably never get in front of. And again, like I said, it's not catered to a specific industry or market. It's for internet marketers, if you will. But that's a kind of a loose term because so many people are internet marketers these days. It doesn't really matter. And like a blogger is an internet marketer in my eyes, in a certain way. But anyway, that was a lot. That was a lot of talking. I'll turn it over to Frank.
I mean, yeah, true. In the end, it's anybody who offers anything to anybody online is an internet marketer, right? I mean, and it doesn't might be your own products, your own services, or somebody else's. Even an affiliate marketer is actually an internet marketer. Even somebody who's selling an MLM product online is an internet marketer because he sells it online, right? Internet marketing, on the internet. Doesn't mean that you only do it only on the internet. No, of course not. You might be doing that also, like in a little, what do you call it, Tupperware session at home where you offer your stuff, or, what do you call it, Tupperware parties? Man, it's giving my age away here. Anyway, but yeah, true. And for us, having this there, like Matt said, like using it for our own sites, that's, I firmly believe that a lot of the most successful service sites or services out there, they all started like this. Somebody had an idea, somebody saw a need, somebody wanted a need filled for himself at first, and then figured out, wait a second, I'm not the only one who needs this. There's actually a lot of people that need this, and then made it available publicly. And that's, I believe firmly, that how the most successful services out there that are out there right now, that's how they started in the beginning. They started as an idea, as a solution to a problem that the inventor had, basically, that the person that came up with it and had in his head. And Matt had the original idea with Jolo. He came up with that need. He saw that need there, and then together with Darren and me, we shaped it and molded it into what it is at this point. And it probably will continue to be molded and shaped into even better, into an even better service over time as we get more and more feedback from people using it, not just us, but also others using it, as their service of choice to get the activity of their site up, to get the, I don't actually, originally, I remember when Matt came first to me, he's like, it's all about getting the activity, getting them more active, and I'm like, wait a second. This is also to get more signups and sales. And then I remember originally the idea, like with it, a lot of it was thought to be, like in a more manual way in the original first, version of it. And then we're like, how can we automate more and more of the tasks to make it more, to make it easier and easier for the site owners out there that want to use Jolo. I remember, remember my analogy how I said, like, a site owner doesn't look for another job. He looks for a way to get something done automated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had talks like over, like Matt said, over weeks and days now. But all together, all this talking, all this development, all this processing. Now we're finally at the point where we can get started. And I don't know if you can even see it. I think it's reflecting there from the window. 6th of August at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? That's when it's going to be there, and that's from now on. That's just in just 11 hours, less than 11 hours from now. Then it's when it's going to be. Right now, if you go to jolo.com right now, you see this video from Matt talking about how it's going to come sometime soon, and you can go on a waiting list. Sometime between now and in 11 hours, it will switch over to the actual live site, and you guys can start using it and playing around with it and joining. And here's another cool thing. I don't think we mentioned it during this whole marketing meetup today, Matt. Did we even mention that people can, try it out? Even the upgraded membership in Jolo, try it out 14 days without a single dollar. Just give it a try. See how it is for them. Upgrade, have a look. And if they decide at any point in that 14 days that it's not for them, just click simply a button, and that's it. They don't even have to send us a ticket or anything that they want to cancel. They click a button in the members area and say, oh, sorry, it wasn't for me.
Yep.
No risk.
Exactly. I think because we kind of come from this market or niche or industry or industries or markets, it's been kind of a closed market or a group, I should say. But people are so accustomed to having to pay $1 even for a trial, and what we did is like, you know what, screw it. Let's just give. You don't have to pay $1. You can literally upgrade. Yes, you do have to give us some payment information to upgrade because this is a business. However, yeah, and you know what? If you want to cancel, we don't even require you to say, hey, I need to call a phone number or I need to send an email. Hopefully, with before they charge me because I just want to cancel. We just say just click the button. If you don't want it, you don't want it. We're not gonna. We're not here to, excuse the language, but dick you around, as people say, right? It's literally, it's just that simple. If you don't want it, you don't want it. But we didn't build it that way because we don't want to make money from the business we built or the product we built. We built it because we want you to be certain that we're not here to offer you a bad experience. We are here to offer you a great experience, and we want you to feel comfortable. That you have control, and that's really the point of it. We literally I don't get into the details, but just that part of the upgrade downgrade part, it took Frank far longer than he thought it would take, or at least I thought it would take. But it's in place now, and it works really well. It works that way because we spent the time and want to make it right rather than just kind of do it the old-fashioned way, which was, and many of you may realize or may say, "Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about when I say this." You would upgrade, you pay whatever it is, whether it's for a trial for $1 or pay for the full price right away, and then you say, you know what, I want to downgrade, and it would now downgrade meaning I want to go to a lower subscription, maybe like half the price. You would have to cancel your subscription and then resubscribe for the new subscription at a lower price. And if you use something like PayPal, you might have to go into PayPal to cancel it first and then create the new subscription. Or if you say I want to upgrade, you would say, okay, I'm going to upgrade and I want to go to the $15 a month plan. So instead of paying $15 a month, you'd pay $10 a month, and you'd pay $5 a month. You'd have 2 subscriptions. And in this market, in the industry, and niche, and whatever you want to call them, it's very common. But we did it in a much better way, where you only have 1 subscription for a membership, and that's it. You upgrade, you downgrade. It's 1 subscription you have to worry about. It's not like you have to have 10 different subscriptions. Now you can have multiple subscriptions, but they're not for memberships, for other things. And the point is, it's built in a more advanced way than you're probably used to, in a way that helps you have a good experience. And that was my biggest thing. I want everyone to have a good experience. I don't want people to go in, okay, hey, yep, I'm used to this. I have to upgrade, then I got to downgrade, then I got to subscribe and cancel and blah blah blah. I really wanted it to be something a little bit refreshing. if that's a good term, I think. And I think, has it taken us more months than than we wanted? We wanted to be done before the first, before January, but that didn't happen. But hey, it's at least it's still 2014, right, Frank?
Yeah. Yeah, we had the deadlines keep moving further down. It was like at some point it was like January, then it was like what, middle of May, then it was middle of June, then middle of
Yeah.
July, and now it's early August. Well, we got there. But by the way, before I go into another point that's really quite quite important about this, and that's quite cool for our customers. Speaking of how do you say pro rata or pro rata?
Yeah, prorated.
But before I go into that, I wanted to quickly weir off in another, area of our marketing meetup before finish up and to give you guys some time. Remember, I said I want to give away one platinum 6-month upgrade to one of my sites, my viral sites. Quick question to you guys. First one, putting it into any of the text chats will win, either in the side chat here or underneath in the Chatango chat thingy. Okay, Jolo will launch on the August 6th, but at what time Eastern Standard Time will it launch? And Matt, you can't answer. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, you can't put the answer in there. What time is it? What time Eastern Standard Time on the 6th will Jolo launch? Just put in the first one. Putting in wins a 6-month upgrade. Now, to get back to the to give you guys some time, because this is only open, this winning, if you put it in before the end of the marketing meetup, by the way. So put it in now if you're still on here. Hopefully there's somebody still on there. So, the pro rata part is really cool, and that's different from a lot of, all those standard internet marketing sites out there. What we put in there is that not only, when you upgrade to an upgraded, upgrade to an upgraded membership site, membership level sounds so wrong. Upgrade to like an associate, professional, executive level in Jolo. Then not only will you not pay for 14 days, and we just keep your credit card data, or actually our processor keeps the data on file until then, it processes 14 days later, unless you cancel first with the one click of the button. And I see the answer already in there. Hey, by the way, Greg, you're the new winner. But let me finish up with my thought first before I get completely off track. So not only will we be able to do the 14 days completely free and cancel and not even be charged single cents if you don't want to continue using the upgraded membership. But if you change a membership level, for example, instead of having this thing, it's like, okay, now you paid until the end of the month, and you can't upgrade or downgrade until then. You can upgrade or downgrade your membership level at any time you want, and it will simply be calculated, the price difference pro rata. So meaning, if you, for example, downgrade before the month is over, you actually save some of the money of the month left over. You get it basically discounted, and it calculates it into future fees. It reduces them. On the other hand, if you upgrade, you won't be charged until the next monthly charge goes through. So you can upgrade and basically have a free upgrade for a couple of days or weeks, depending on when you upgrade, right? So it's all built in the system to be 100% fair, to be 100%, for you, built with the customer in mind there. Like Matt said, giving you the good experience out there versus the default standard experience that everybody else gets out there. So that's one of the things that that I'm pretty happy about. And yes, it took us longer, and it took me longer. Not want to say us. It took me longer. Yeah, I'll admit it. It was like reading the Bible all over again, the instructions from Stripe. But we got to the point where we got it integrated, and I'm pretty happy that it got it done now, because this system is really, I think it's the difference between the small one-man work-from-home business versus the corporate level. And we got it now to the corporate level, or even though technically from the size we're still the work-at-home business, right, Matt? I mean, I'm sitting here in my home office right now. You're probably the same way.
Yep. Yeah, that's
so. Hey, all doable.
That's the joys of kind of doing things with a limited team. But I think, like I said, or I think kind of what I was saying, yes, it took us longer to kind of get all those fancy parts completed and done properly. However, I think we've also eliminated a lot of headaches by doing it the proper way, meaning we'll have a far less number of people questioning how the subscription work or upgrades and et cetera purchases, because it's very streamlined and very simple. There's not a lot of guesswork. It's you click a button and you will get upgraded, and you don't have to worry about canceling and all that fun stuff. And if you want to cancel, you just cancel. You don't have to tell us. Like at List Jumper, I think some people have to. I don't think they have to, but a lot of people ask us to cancel them. Will we get people asking, hey, I want to cancel on our, and for us to do it for them? Absolutely. But I think it'll be very limited once you go into your account and you can literally click downgrade or cancel. It's pretty simple. The button's right there, and it's just, I don't know, it's just great. And again, like I said, yeah, we spent more time getting the membership portion done properly, but it's worth it, and I don't regret it. That's for sure.
I mean, can people cancel their own subscription with a PayPal subscription if they want to? Yes, they could, but have you ever tried to search for that thing in the PayPal members area?
Right.
Oof. I mean, it's possible, but it takes a while to find. With us, it's just like, we come in, last menu option on the site, memberships, click on that, upgrade, downgrade, cancel, anything on that one page, finished.
Yep.
Super simple.
Now, anyway, I just had a thought in my mind, but I'll tell you later.
More changes before the launch?
No.
Oh, quick, I have a new idea. Let's completely change the whole concept. Oh, boy. No, but you know what? Funny thing is, sometimes, little things. I say something, or Matt says something that sparks an idea on the other end. I say something, and suddenly Matt says, "Oh, wait a second," or other way around. Matt says something, and I suddenly like, "Oh, wait, that would be a great idea." And then we go on and on, and it's out of just a thought that's there. Something great can develop over time, right? I mean, it's just don't disregard any thoughts you have. Some might be really good. Some are total crap, I tell you now, but some are great. So you never know until you discussed it through and really thought it through or slept over it.
Absolutely.
Okay, any parting words? I think we are now at roughly hour 20 minutes, so it's getting late for Matt. You already have now, 10:20? Is that correct?
Yeah. And I got some things to finish up, too.
Plus, and he wants you awake latest by 9 a.m. tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll be up pretty early, that's for sure.
I'll be up late, let's say it this way, because you and 9 a.m. is for me 11 p.m. down here in Australia.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be 11 p.m., 9 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So the launch is for me a little bit later in the day, but that's okay. It's actually, for me, it's today, the launch.
True.
For you, it's tomorrow. For me, it's today. Let's not confuse everybody out there. It's on the 6th of August at 9 a.m. So it's just for us. Time zones can be a tricky thing sometimes when you work with other people overseas. But hey, nowadays it doesn't really matter if you don't live like next to each other to work together. I mean,
right.
With tools like like Google Hangouts, with Skype, with Asana that we're using, or the Google Docs, it doesn't really matter where the other person is. Is it great if you're in the same time zone? Yeah, of course, it makes things easier. Like, instead of me talking and be full of energy and Matt falling asleep over there, like you mentioned before.
Yep.
You're in the same time zone, and it makes working together a bit easier, true. But it doesn't have to be that way. Colin Klinkert, my business partner in Valuel and Valinbox, etc., he's in Monaco, in Europe. He's like another time zone again. He's like it's at 8 to 10 hours behind me right now. And Matt is 14 hours behind me right now. I mean, it depends on summer, winter time, and stuff like that, right? Daylight savings time, or however you call it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, it's possible. Okay, any parting words, or should we call this Marketing Meetup? And let's have a quick look. When will be the next one? Let me just have a quick look at my calendar. Today's August 5th for you guys in the United States. And next Marketing Meetup will be September 2nd. September the 2nd. Tuesday is going to be the next one. And hey, maybe we can have a different topic, or maybe we go even deeper into Jolo at that point. Depends. By the way, if you guys watching this either live or the replay have any topic suggestions that you would like to hear us, make sure that you leave it in one of the chat fields underneath here. You can leave it at any time, even if we're not on air, and let me know what you want to learn about, what you want to know. And also, even though we had not really any questions except of technical difficulties from Bret before earlier in the side chat here, if you have questions that you like to get answered, you want to have feedback on something you do in your online business, let me know. That's what I'm what I'm doing there. It's not just to announce Jolo every time. It just happened to be the last 2 calls, but it's for you also, for guys. Jolo is for you. I mean, if you think about it, Jolo is a service for you to get your business move forward. To get your more site visits, more action on your site. More happening there. But it's not just about Jolo, of course, the Marketing Meetup. It's about you and your business and whatever that may be. But of course, I can't know if you don't tell me, right? So let me know before the next Marketing Meetup, and maybe we can have a topic that's something, addressing a specific need that you have, and I'll be glad to do that. Okay, thanks again, Matt, for hanging out here with me. I'm sure you and I are gonna hang out a little bit longer. We have to get some stuff finished. Hey, maybe next Marketing Meetup you're not again on or not. We'll see. We don't know that usually until like a day or 2 before. And again, thanks a lot for watching this Marketing Meetup, and see you again next month, September 2nd, same place, same time. And looking forward to see you here. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, Matt, any last comments?
No, I'm good.
Okay, sorry, I almost cut you off there without asking. Okay, have a great day. See ya.
Thanks for meeting us in today's session. Share it with your friends. And join us again for the next Marketing Meetup on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Bye-bye.